Hello, everybody. Hi. Oh, wow. Hi from Canada. Hi from Moscow. Ciao. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. Hi from Israel. Um, it's so crazy to think that like people are watching from all these different places. It's super exciting. But yeah, so welcome to this live. I was feeling like chatting a little bit. This is going to be a little bit disconnected probably because I'm just going to follow whatever comes up in the comments. Hi from France. Hi from Ukraine. Portugal. USA. Okay, this is really cool. Brazil. Awesome. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Euros. I want to talk a little bit about Canadian nationals. And obviously, I wanted to know what you guys thought about everything. Hello, Russia, Georgia, Sweden, what? Sweden, Germany, Scotland, and all that. I love Scotland, love Scottish accents. They're really fun. I don't know if I've ever mentioned in my channel, but I actually have lived in the UK for a little over 2 years. I know you probably can't tell from my accent. My accent doesn't sound British at all. I did try, but I miserably failed. I can sort of do an impression, which is really bad, so I probably shouldn't do it. But yeah, Scottish accent was hilarious. I really, really liked it. Anyways, hello everyone from wherever you're in the world, and welcome to this live chat. Let's start with Euros, shall we? Yeah, so prediction for the podium in all disciplines at Euros. Okay, this is a tough one. I think ladies' podium is going to be obviously the most obvious because it's 100% going to be the three Atari girls. The order is to be seen. I would actually put my money on Sherbakova or Kostranaia to win. I know Trusova is the only one who hasn't won a major competition this year because Kostranaia won Grand Prix final, Sherbakova won nationals. So it should be Trusova's turn. But considering the layout that they're going for, I think it's unlikely unless she lands all of it. But I don't know if you guys have seen what they're planning her layout to be. They're planning for her to do triple axel in the short and then 5 quads in the free, quad lats, quad sal, quad flip, quad toe Euler, triple Salchow, and quad toe, which I think is absolutely mental. I think it's like not like Nathan and Yuzu are the only one who even attempted 5 quads. So the fact that they think that this is a good idea blows my mind. I think it's a really bad idea. I think it's dangerous. And I think even if she does end up landing all of them, the program is going to be literally her jumping and doing nothing because there's no way she has energy for choreo and step sequences and anything like that. When she's attempted 5 quads, it's absolutely ridiculous. If you think about it, it took user 10 years to work up to 5 quads, took Nathan, I don't know, 5-6 years since juniors to work up to 5 quads. And they're trying to push her to do it in a couple of years with a growing body. She's 15. Dodgy technique on some of them. It's just, I don't understand. Like, if I were them, I would just go for quad toe and maybe quad lats. I would do 2/3 quads, leave the triple axel out of it, and focus on getting better components. Because otherwise, Sherbakova and Kostranaia are always going to beat her unless she's perfect with 5 quads, which seems like such an exaggeration. Although she's getting quite generous components for it all. But yeah, so I think the ladies' podium is definitely going to be those 3. What order? I don't know. I think Sasha's layout is actually damaging her. Yeah, it all depends on which condition each of them is in. They always seem to, vary. So who's going to win between the 3 of them is is a mystery, but it's definitely going to be the three of them on the podium. I would love to see Yekaterina Kurakova get fourth place, though. I think she's a lovely skater, and I think she's kind of the anti-Trusova in a way because her jumps aren't really big. She under rotates a lot, but her presentation is excellent. So that would be really nice. Yeah, that layout does sound insane. I actually don't think that the triple axe on the short is bad. I think as an idea, it's not a bad idea because it makes her more competitive. But I think when she's trying three new things, triple axel, triple flip, five quad layout, it's all too much at once. You need to, add gradually. That's why I think it's not a good idea. Um, yeah, having Sasha do all the quads in the world is ridiculous. There has been zero build up, period. Yeah, exactly. Like men take years to do this, and they're having a child do this like in a year or two. It's just with zero physical like way to withstand this. Like the only way that like the only thing that's allowing her to do this is like she's very thin and she can be quite muscular for being so thin, but it's a ticking bomb in my opinion. Mm, I do think Aliona has the biggest chance to win gold, but Sherbakova seems to be on the rise. It all depends on her quads and the components. Obviously, she got very, very big, like big components at Russian nationals. It depends if they translate internationally. Um, yeah, so I find it in a world where ladies retired at 17, Sasha might think she only has 2 years to make history. Working on components would be too long. I think that making history isn't just landing quads or winning medals, because if you think about it, there are like Kimi Meissner won a world medal and won world championships. And I wouldn't say that she's made history. Obviously, it was a big accomplishment for her. What makes history is, in my opinion, and this is like my personal view, what makes history is programs that really have an impact on people and that people love to rewatch. So I don't know. I would say that actually working on her components would help her more in a way, and also making her like work on her longevity. One-time wonders very seldom become memorable. I think if you take some skaters that have been around for a decade, even if they didn't win big, people tend to love them and like them and follow their careers because they make their own place in people's hearts. And if you are just a one-hit wonder and like win everything for a season and then disappear, I don't know, even if Sasha won like Euros or World or whatever, is that going to be enough when so many others have that accomplishment? Yeah, she has the quads, but like you need to give people a reason to rewatch over and over. That's just my opinion, obviously. Um, the triple lats triple loop hasn't been working fully all season. Yeah, I agree. Actually, she seems to be switching a lot. She puts down in her program like layout triple lats triple loop, and she doesn't run through. But then she tends to switch throughout the program to like triple lats triple toe, and maybe she's feeling insecure with that combination. It's not really working, so I agree. I feel like Sasha will be changing coaches. I wouldn't be too surprised if she maybe attempted a switch. I think out of all like the three Atari girls, she's the one that's like most recognizable because of all the quads that she's been landing. So maybe she would have some more contractual power to be able to switch and maybe go abroad. I don't know. It seems like she's very determined, so it could be something that happens. It doesn't seem to me like Terry's strategy is paying. So far, she's won bronze at Grand Prix final, bronze at nationals, which obviously is good. It is good, but I think it's not what she wants. So it's all going to depend. But yeah, I remember somebody mentioned that Leona has a quad sal. Do you think it's true? And if like will we see it? I wouldn't discard the option. She said she got triple axel in 10 days, which, as suspicious as it sounded, it did happen. So it may be that maybe we will see it. They're pushing, so I wouldn't be too surprised. Why is yours in such a sad arena? I'm wondering the same. It's not looking good for figure skating in general as a sport. And I think I was talking about it earlier on Twitter. I think the ISU is so disconnected from people that they don't understand that they're causing harm to the sport. It seems to me like there's such a big disconnect between the complaints that people have been having for years and what they do. So, what's your top five figure skater ladies in history? Oh God, definitely Mao, Caroline, and Yuna. Like that triad was absolutely incredible. And I grew up in that era, so they have my heart. In history, I mean, if I have to watch old competitions, obviously I love Michelle. If I have to watch more recent ones, I really like Satoko. I like Evgenia. But the triad from like the 2010s, Yuna, Mao, Carolina is like in my heart forever. So let's see. Yeah, Sasha's losing her triple Lutz triple loop. I agree. I don't think it works. Yeah, it doesn't work well for everyone. It worked really well for Alina. It didn't work as well for Sasha or Anna. So, yeah. Look how much backlash Zhenya got when she left. Would any girl want to go through the same thing? I don't think so, but at the same time, I think she got the worst of the backlash. So if people were to follow now, it wouldn't be as bad. But yeah, what's your predictions about Alexia Paganini and May Bernice? I don't know. European ladies tend to be very inconsistent, so it's difficult to predict. I would say top 10 probably. I think the Italian girl could do well. I think Kurakova could do well as well. I'm very depressed that Viveka Lindfors and Luna Hendrick both are missing this season because they had such a good season last season. I said season like 5,000 times. Speaking of podiums, do you think Pastrana will change her triple axel double toe to triple axel triple toe? Not yet. If I have to be completely honest about Pastrana's triple axel, I think it's a huge jump. It's really, really big, but the rotation and landing, the rotation is always like there, but like by this much, and landing is never like almost never completely solid. She had really good landings at Russian Nationals. If she can start landing them more like she did at Russian National, then yeah, she could do triple toe. But if she lands them as she did the rest of the season, I don't know. Let's see. What about men's podium at Euros? My prediction is I don't know, but I do think that the favorite is Kevin Amos from France. I think that this is his chance to really have a breakthrough. I think he's riding in on a high from Grand Prix final, getting a bronze medal there against like valid competitors. And some of the competitors he'll face at Euros, like Aliev and Samarin, were also Grand Prix final, and he beat both. Granted, they both had like meltdowns, especially Aliev. I think Aliev is probably going to be the biggest threat, along with Samarin. If I had to, guess the podium, I'd put the two Russians with Kevin Amos. But at the same time, men are very, very inconsistent. So I wouldn't count out Matteo Rizzo. I wouldn't count out, even possibly like, I guess Arthur probably won't get the components because he's been judged as a junior so far. So I don't know if the components will be there for him. Denis Vasilyevs could do it, although not having quads will hurt a lot. I would say the two Russians, Kevin Amos, maybe Matteo Rizzo for the podium, and then for like top 10, I would put Daniel Grassel, I would put Artur, I would put Denis Vasilyevs. So it's actually a pretty open competition. I think it's going to be one of the most enjoyable events. I'm actually very looking forward to it. I just checked the schedule and it seems like I won't be able to watch the men's short because I'm going to be stuck in a work meeting all day on Wednesday, but hopefully I will be there for the free. So, do you think Matteo Rizzo can make the podium? I think he can, in the sense that if he has clean performances, he definitely has a shot at making the podium. But because he doesn't have as high tech content as the others, he's at a disadvantage. So he needs to be clean, and he needs others to not be clean, which is more than possible. But I miss Javi. Yeah, me too. Javi's going to win. I wish. What about Kevin's coach and that whole drama? Yeah, so Kevin Amos is coached by Silvia Fontana, who is involved in the whole Morgan Cypre scandal. Let me just say a couple words about that. I think that like the whole situation is absolutely vile and disgusting. I don't understand how the ISU cannot place a temporary ban on Zimmerman, on Morgan Cypre, and even Silvia Fontana, if she indeed helped cover this up, as it seems she did. I saw, it disgusts me that Morgan Cypre is out there posting Instagram stories like going for our titles. Yeah, we'll be back for more. Like, honey, you're under investigation for sending, inappropriate pictures to a child, and there's like plenty of proof that he did. And he not only doesn't seem to feel any shame or like be trying to make it up somehow or apologizing, he's out there being like, yeah, Vanessa and I are going to like get titles. Like, no, you should be prohibited from like participating. It blows my mind how he completely pretends like nothing happened. And he was at a show in Italy and another show, and other skaters, I think, like, for example, Eric Radford, who's also like one of the representatives for skaters, like athletes, they were there like taking pics with him. Like, no, why are you doing this? Like, it blows my mind how this guy is like managing to not even lay low. He's just honestly out there like living his best life, and nobody's doing anything. As a governing body at like the ISU is, you don't need to wait for a police report, which, by the way, there's a police investigation going on, but you don't need that to be like, there's proof enough and there's a safe sport investigation, and until this is cleared, we're suspending you from shows, we're suspending you from whatever. Like, they definitely have the power to do this. The fact that they're not is mind-blowing. The fact that he was a show with like young teen girls like Aliona blows my mind. Honestly, I'm disgusted. And yeah, Vanessa, like, girl, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like, she hasn't said anything publicly, but from what I've heard, she's defending him behind the scenes, and she's like ready to fight because like this is her dream and her goal and blah blah. I don't care. No dream is big enough to justify a child getting molested. Like, no. Like, I don't care about your dreams. I care about the safety of children. Find a new partner, do whatever. But your dream, honestly, like, no shade to Vanessa. I'm sure she's worked hard all her life for this, but I don't give up about your dreams if the prize for your dream is a child being molested. Like, no. Find a new dream. Find a new partner. I don't care. Do what you have to do, but this shouldn't be happening. So that's my 2 cents. I'm sorry, get very annoyed and like mad about this whole situation because it seems like once the bomb exploded, after that, like people are happy to forget about it. And honestly, no. If they come back to competition, I'm ready to start a boycott of like their skates. Like, don't clap, don't boo, do whatever. Like, people have freedom of speech. I'm ready to protest their appearances because no. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, Vanessa's career is on the line. Is her career worth a child being bullied into silence after receiving inappropriate pics from a grown ass man? No. I don't care about her career that much. Um, so yeah. Apart from that, yeah, I don't know how that's going to affect Kevin. If things continue the way that they have been, probably he's not going to be affected by it because nobody's doing anything on like the higher ups aren't doing anything. So that's it. That's the sport that we follow. So yeah, following this rant, speaking of other podiums, Paris podium, speaking of Paris, I think is going to be quite interesting. The main fight is going to be between, I would say, Boykova Kozlovsky and Tarasova Morozov. So it's probably going to be a Russian fight. Boykova Kozlovsky has now beaten Tarasova Morozov a couple times. I didn't agree with them winning at Russian nationals that much, actually. But I do think like the podium is going to be, between them. Then there's the third Russian pair, who's also going to fight. I now don't remember who they're sending. Are they sending Pavlyuchenko Khodikin or Mishina Galyamov? I can't remember. Tell me in the comments. I forgot. But yeah, it's going to be probably between the Russian pairs. The Italians, Della Monica Guarise, they're good, but they have been injured at the beginning of the season. So it all depends on how they are form-wise. At this point, they have a better chance of being, in better shape than they did during the Grand Prix. During the Grand Prix, like they couldn't do lifts properly. He had a shoulder injury, she had a wrist injury, so it wasn't really working. But now they should have come to a point where they're able to maybe compete for the bronze. I don't know. But I think the pair is definitely going to be dominated by Russia, or at least that's, if I had to make an informed guess, I would say that Russia will dominate the pairs. And finally, for the dance, it's, Papadakis and Ron are going to win. So who's going to get second and third place? It's between the Russians, so Sinitsina Katsalapov and Stepanova Bukin, and also the Italians, Guignard Fabri, could do it. I would say these pairs, the couples, are the ones that are fighting for the podium. Maybe the Spanish couples and Fear Gibson could interfere if something goes wrong, but I don't see them getting the scores to challenge the others. So I would say the two, there's three Russians, but like the two top Russian pairs, Papadakis Ron, Guignard Fabri, are fighting for the podium, in my opinion, with some possible interference, from Fear Gibson and maybe some of the Spanish pair, maybe Zahorsky Guerrero, but I don't think so. I think the main competition is going to be between those. I'm very, very curious to see who prevails between Sinitsina Katsalapov and Stepanova Bukin. They've been battling close. Stepanova Bukin beat them at Grand Prix final. Sinitsina Katsalapov won Russian nationals, but by a very slim margin. So it's going to be interesting. I am excited for Euros. Apart from the ladies, I mean, the ladies is so. I mean, what's there to be excited about? If we already know the podium, so that makes it less exciting to me. But the men's competition in particular is like the one I'm looking forward to. So we shall see. We shall see. U.S. national man short program and your ladies free skater at the same time. Really interesting. I'll try to watch both. I don't know what time they're at, so I'll have to check. Russian junior nationals, I think, are at the very beginning of February. I don't want to say something wrong, but I think they're the first week of February, perhaps. Yeah, the 4th of February. So yeah, there you go. Beginning of February. That's going to be interesting. Do you have predictions for U.S. nationals? I mean, Nathan, obvious winner of the man with, I mean, probably Jason and Vincent on the podium with him. Vincent's competing after like quite a long hiatus, but we found out later that he was actually training during this hiatus, so he could be in good shape, all things considered. There could be like some people who challenge maybe like bronze, but I would say that's going to be the podium, hypothetically. For the ladies, I mean, the podium's probably going to be Elisa Liu, Brady Snell, and Mariah Bell. I don't know in which order. It depends. It depends on how they judge Elisa's quads and components. They've been quite strict with her at Grand Prix final. Well, kind of strict, but I think in a home competition, they were going to want to push her components in before Junior Worlds. So it's going to be those three probably. Mariah's been having a really good season. So she could actually challenge Brady, I think, if she goes clean and Brady doesn't. So I saw some clips of Elisa training. Her speed into her jumps got a little better. Yeah, I think Elisa, like it seems like she's working in the right direction. I hope that they ditch the quad lot forever and keep working, because she does have so much talent, but they're working on the wrong things. Like, stop trying for the quad and just work on the rest of her skills. She could be a very complete skater. I find that she's quite good when it comes to like interpretation for her age. She's very, very young, so they should just focus on solidifying triple axel and everything else, like leave the quads. I do think she's been working on her components quite a bit, but I want to see more. I don't think she should do quads at this. Like, I think she should just focus on everything else. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. So U.S. Nats. I think Nathan's obvious winner. The ladies' podium is quite obvious. I think Gracie's going to go. I truly wish Tracy, right, Gracie, all the best. But I am a bit worried about what could happen. What could happen to her, mentally speaking, if she doesn't do well. By well, I don't mean like podium or anything, but just like if she doesn't have like quite solid performances. I fear for her mental state. I don't know. I hope that they know what they're doing, sending her out there at nationals. Obviously, I'm excited to see her again, but I don't want it to be a massacre. Do you think Evgenia will go back to Toronto this season? I think she's bound to at some point. I think she's taking it. It seems from her social media updates, she's taking it slowly. Honestly, she has nothing to train for at this time. So she's probably just taking it slowly, staying in Russia for a bit, because then she has a lot of shows, new programs to prepare and everything. So she's probably having an extended holiday. Makes sense. She has nothing to train for at the moment. So what else? Gracie's new coach seems smart from what I've heard about her. Yeah, I'm glad Gracie's changed coach. I got really sketchy vibes from her former coach. No offense, but yeah, he seemed quite sketchy to me. And it seems to me like he was using her like as an attention grabber, which I don't really appreciate. Any predictions for dance in US Nationals? Actually, I think it's like quite open this year. I think Chalk and Bates have a shot at beating Hubble Donahue. Depends on like home judging of components and everything, but they have more solid programs than Hubble Donahue do. Um, so what else? Yeah, Grace's new coach. Yeah, Evgenia always spends her January in Moscow. Yeah, it doesn't seem weird to me, especially considering that she has no no competition. Hubble Donahue's free program is what my nightmares are made of. Yeah. I saw that live at Grand Prix final. I don't like it at all. And also she made that end like she just yeah. When did she enter with the fur coat? Was that I think that was the short, right? Was it the short? I think so. Yeah, it was cringe. Oh yeah, Canadian nationals, of course. I forgot. Let's talk about Canadian nationals. What a mess. What a mess that was. The ladies competition it was not good. So, I always complain about Russia and like how they push girls so early. Like Akhieva is out there doing triple axels at like 11, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. However, I do think that Canada has it wrong the opposite way, because all of their lady skaters struggle with basic triples. Like, we need to find a balance between what Russia is doing, which is a big no, and what Canada is doing, which simply does not work at all. Like, they can't be competitive like this. The only lady who could be competitive is Gabby Daleman, and she's going through a bunch of stuff at the moment, it seems like, so can't really count on her. And they need to speed up the process a little bit with the triples, because like, yeah, I'm predicting that they're going to have one spot at Worlds next season, and yeah, there's something needs to be changed. Yeah, the ladies free skate live on Saturday. It was rough in person. Yeah, I can't believe, like, I was watching it in streaming, and it was yeah, it was a mess. Like, nobody was landing any jumps. Gabby's free skate, I thought, was truly like hard to watch. But in her case, like, she can do the jumps normally. I just feel like she should take some time off and consider where she wants to go, and if she wants to continue the sport, because clearly there's like stuff going on there. I miss Caitlin too. But yeah, I think I counted one Lutz landed total. Yeah, I believe that. It was messy. It was really messy. Was the Canadian ladies always this weak? No, they were not. I mean, Johnny Rochette represent. Caitlin Osmond was good. I mean, no, it's a recent trend that they can get one lady to land jumps. So I think Gabby hasn't been well since Pyeongchang. Yeah, I agree. I think, what's that? So Sam says zen about Canadian nuts. It's like we're all zen about that. Yeah. Yeah, distressing to see Gabby so distraught. I agree. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing about Gabby being distraught. I'm just laughing about the zen comment. I'm very tired. Forgive me. It was really sad. It seems also to me like Lee Verkel, although he's worked with her for a long, long time, he doesn't seem to really know how to react. Sorry. He doesn't seem to know how to react to her bombing like this. And I do kind of wonder, like, if her preparation was this bad, why did he allow her to go? Or was the preparation okay and she just, bombed in the competition because she hasn't competed a lot? It's hard to tell, but I do think she needs to seriously consider what she wants to do. Canadian ladies feel being so weak, she can totally afford to take a year off and then, come back if she wants to. I think this and Finlandia Trophy was just dangerous type of jumps, like Anna Pogorilaya, Anna Pogo jumps. I agree. And I do think that her leg wrap was really, really bad, and it looked like she couldn't jump, like she couldn't really jump the way she's meant to. And I agree, it was a bit dangerous. It's why I'm confused. Like, why would Lee send her out? Like, he's been coaching her for so long. He should know like her level of preparation. So it makes me wonder if there's like some miscommunication going on there. I know Gabby, Brian and Tracy in the past have been talking about like how sometimes she's a bit complicated to coach, and obviously she's opened up about her own struggles with mental health. So I wonder if like it's a mix of everything. Lee's getting way more students from other places. Yes, Toko Vincent. Yeah, it could be that as well. Pogo, can Pogo come back? Yeah, I agree. I miss her a lot. Yeah. Let's talk a bit about the men competition. That was also quite interesting. There's somebody writing from Poland. I assume because I read Polska, but I have no idea what that means. There's a lot of faces though, so hello. Yeah, let's talk about men. Surprise win by Roman Sadowski. He has been like consistently going up this season, as consistent as man can be in the sport. So he got quite generous scores, in my opinion. I think his components need some work, especially if you compare him with somebody like Keegan Messing, but he has definitely been the most consistent of the three. In the free skate, Keegan and Nam had like mini meltdowns, both of them. So obviously, Roman was quite solid. However, I do agree with Skate Canada in waiting to see for continents to decide, because they do need to get back 2 spots. I don't know if internationally, especially, Roman has the scoring potential to do that. Compared with Keegan and Nam, in particular, if Keegan manages to hit, which remains to be seen, but if he manages to hit, he can place very high. So I don't disagree with them deciding it after 4 continents, also to see how how they score all 3 compared to each other in a international competitions. That should be really telling for Canada Fed. So I quite agree with this decision in general. I think all 3 of them can take a spot for Worlds. I think truly they will decide after 4 continents. I think it's wide open. Personally, I would like to see Keegan go there. After the year he's had, he said it was difficult for him to motivate himself, and it's something that really resonated with me what he said, because he was like, after something like this, he lost his brother, something like this happens to you, it's hard to consider skating as important as you need to consider it to do well, and I feel that, in order to succeed in a competitive sport, it needs to be your whole life. But when you go through something like this, you realize, how many other important things you have to fight for. And I feel him. I understand. I hope that maybe 4 continents will be a turning point for him. And if he gets the chance to go to World, that maybe, what motivates him again. But it's sad what he's going through. And yeah, he's so supportive of other skaters, so supportive of, his friend, like he's really friends with Nam, but he's supportive. He seems really supportive in general of pretty much everyone. So I wish him truly all the best. And he has some of the best skating skills in the game to me. And when he hits his jumps are beautiful. So I hope he does well for continents, but obviously I hope they all do well so that the decision is as fair as possible. Also, speaking of Canadian nationals, there was this video I saw today, and I completely missed it because I didn't watch the junior pairs. But there was this girl in junior pairs during the 6 minutes warm up. Her partner, they went for a triple twist, and her partner slipped as he was like launching her in the air, and she fell from like 2 meters of height, like a really, really scary, terrible fall. Watch at your own discretion if you find it. It was absolutely horrifying, horrifying. It was terrible. I thought like she wasn't gonna get up. It was terrifying. And this girl was not only like left on the ice for like some time, and like the paramedics didn't run to her, like what the heck is that, but also they cleared her to compete. And then they found out she had a broken wrist, broken kneecap. Her jaw is like unhinged, like how do you say unhinged? She has like back pain. Like, what the heck are they doing? Why was she allowed to compete? That's insane. Why would they do it? Like, she competed with 2 broken bones at junior nationals. Not even like this is the Olympics. Like, I'm gonna do it like at all cost. As an adult making this decision, it's a child, and everyone was like, yeah, compete, like it's fine. Now she's like gonna suffer. I don't know what even like potential problems from this. It's absurd. Like, do they not have any regulations in place for this? Like, this seems like really basic stuff. Like, I remember I used to do ballet. Was really bad at it, but I used to do ballet, and sometimes we'd go at like kind of like regional competitions, and at all times there was doctors and like ambulances or whatever. And if a ballerina like fell, sometimes like, well, I didn't do any of that difficult stuff. It was like a child, but the older groups, they had like ballerina being lifted up, and like in case somebody fell or broke something or whatever, they had a doctor on the spot, like running up to them, like everything stopped, and they were carried away in like the hospital, but whatever that's called. And I cannot believe that there was no like immediate intervention, that she was even allowed to compete. Again, this is not an adult being like, yeah, I have like a broken wrist, a broken knee, but I'm going to compete anyway because it's the Olympics. This is a 12, 13-year-old child being told like, yeah, go compete. And then with like broken bones, like, is this the Hunger Games? What the hell is going on? Like, I cannot believe how like athletes have like are being treated. This reminded me of when Ashley Kane had that terrible fall, and she basically, like, the referee didn't stop their free skate, and she continued to skate with like obvious concussion. She was like dizzy and like didn't know where she was, and nobody intervened. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, basic safety. Like, I had that type of treatment of like having doctors ready for me, and like regional children's dance competition nobody cared about because it was like the lowest imaginable level, and they don't have like a doctor at Skate Canada Nationals. Why? Pourquoi? I'm confused. Like, oh yeah, and the commentary, like Ted was like, oh, such a courageous and brave young lady, as he always says. Like, no, this is not bravery. This is madness. I mean, she was like, oh, what a courageous young lady. I mean, I know Ted is used to seeing the Atari girls like breaking bones and just like jumping on broken bones and throwing quads and whatever. I know he loves that, but this is not bravery. This is a disservice. It's like borderline abuse, like of children, in the sense that adults that should be protecting them are pushing them to compete with like broken bones. what is this? Like, who wants to watch a child? Like, she was shaking the entire time from pain. Like, that's not brave. That's reckless. Not on her part. That's reckless, like, from all the adults involved. Like, it's not brave. What the hell? Like, I was disgusted. Yeah, an investigation should definitely be carried out. I agree. Um, Absolutely insane. Yeah, Ted's commentary. It was. Yeah, he said she will be remembered for this. Like, will she really? Will she really be remembered for this? This is not Carrie Strug at the Olympics landing that vault on a broken foot, which, by the way, had like lifelong consequences for her, by the way. And we all know like what the system was with the Carollis. So incredible, incredible. Like, I am speechless that this was even allowed. Like, what the hell? Um, yeah, I mean, it is turning into the Hunger Games, and the worst part to me is how usually young girls are the main target of this type of thing. Like, you're brave if you compete, like, on broken bones. You're brave. Like, no, no. Like, they're teaching them that if they don't compete on broken bones, it's wrong. They're teaching them, oh, if you don't go out there and compete on a broken kneecap, you're not brave. You're a coward. That's the message that they're sending these girls, and not just girls, but like, you know, it's insane, absolutely insane. um yeah, I was appalled by everything, appalled by the lack of intervention, appalled by the fact that she skated, appalled by the commentary. I like, and obviously, as always, will anyone hold the ISU and like federations accountable? No, this will like pass unobserved unless maybe the parents of the girls sue them. I don't know. Incredible. Yeah, Michaela Maroney did her team final MNR with a freshly broken toe. Yeah, I remember that. First of all, that was the Olympics, so maybe more was at stake. But second, we found out later that the Caroli system that Michaela competed under was basically you either are dead or you compete. And so many of these girls suffer from this type of mentality. They fell prey to Nassar. They had like lifelong terrible consequences for their health, for their mental health. I remember, what's her name? There was a girl that did a testimony at the Nassar trial, and she said that she once, and trigger warning for this because it's like kind of self-harmish, she once like bashed her head open on purpose to avoid going to the camp. And when she like later returned after this had passed, Marta Caroli was like, "Oh, you didn't come because you like had like a concussion, whatever." This other girl who like she competed and she came here and she had like a broken bone or whatever, and she didn't complain. She competed. She's better than you. She's not as coward as you are. Like, that's the mentality. What the hell? It's absolutely insane. I am appalled. I'm not. I don't understand. Whatever. Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't even know what to add. Like, the whole situation seems to me so out of this world. Yeah. Yeah, it is getting kind of like the Hunger Games. Like, there's so many like messed up things. Starting with like actual people, me included, complain about the scoring a lot, but the scoring is like, at least it's not dangerous to like people's health. But these things are actually so harmful for mental, physical health, well-being, especially of children. Like, what are they even doing? I don't understand. I didn't know what Ted commented after that. I'm even angrier. Yeah, I didn't either because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't watching the competition. So first I saw the short video of the girl getting injured, and I was like, whoa, can't believe like this happened and she was allowed to compete. And then somebody later on posted Ted's commentary, and I was like, I'm out. Yeah, it's crazy that these athletes competing injured is so normalized. So normalized. We've heard things from many different camps about, girls in particular, but also, boys and everything competing injured. And, it's one thing if you're a grown man, take Yuzuru. He's a grown man, he's in his 20s, he has to compete for the Olympics, and he decides to compete injured. It's his own decision. He's an adult man, and it's the Olympics. But here we're talking about extremely young girls and not a grown man, not the Olympics, and possibly not even their decision. So, competing injured is part of sports in a way, but it shouldn't be children doing it. It should never be children doing it because they can't possibly make this decision. And if an adult makes a decision for them that they're going to compete injured, it's wrong. It's just plain wrong. They should just be withdrawn, and yeah, that should be it. What else? Yeah, I can't imagine the therapy that they're gonna need, like the pair. Same. They're gonna be scared and scarred. Just from the clip, I was angry and thinking about that interview about admiring Eteri's rigidity. Yeah, it all ties into this type of mentality, Pat was like, oh, Eteri's criticized, but like some rigidity is necessary, Rigidity in this sense is like having kids compete injured on like broken bones and all sort of things. And Eteri does it. She's not the only one. We've seen it here with much less at stake and much less known like coaches and skaters. And unfortunately, it is getting more and more common. So User and Han Yan competing after Cup of China in 2014 was insane too. I completely agree. It was scary back then. I thought they were mad letting them compete, especially User had like huge concussion and like everything. At least they were adults, like adult enough to make their decision for themselves. However, there should be regulations. Like if you have a concussion, you can't compete. If you have a broken something, you can't compete. Like they should prevent these things in general. I heard Shoma is competing at Challenge Cup. Is that true? It is kind of weird that he's doing Challenge Cup and not for continents, but I don't know what the thinking behind it is. I think figure skating will lose fans because of how unsustainable skaters are. 100%. Gymnastics has been losing fans steadily. If you compare the amount of people who love gymnastics 15 years ago and now, massive difference. What else? Weird political stuff I'm not going to go into. Who do you think has a shot at bronze in Paris besides Pavlyuchenko, Khodikin? I would say the Italian pair, like Della Monica Guarise, could maybe do it. Yeah, there's a couple of German pairs, and the Austrian pair is also quite good. Can't remember all the names, but yeah, I agree, Rupert. You're in the wrong thread. I guess Shoma doesn't want to lose to Yuzuru and lose momentum. I don't think that's the reason. I think actually it may not be 100% his choice to do Challenge Cup, but speaking as a former mega gymnastics fan, yeah. I used to be such a big fan of gymnastics. I used to watch it a lot, especially, between Athens 2004 and London 2012. So those 3 Olympics, I watched a lot of gymnastics. But ever since then, there's like girls changing every single year, and I'm just like, I can't be bothered to learn all of them. And it's not as exciting. When we had Nastya versus Sean rivalry was great. We had Kirkina and Russia, like, and the Romanian team, like, it's just not as fun. What else? How do you think Gracie Gold will do at U.S. Nationals? It's anyone's guess. She's been doing okay-ish at the qualifying competitions, but obviously that's a much, much, much lower level than nationals. It seems to me like her jumps are still a work in progress, and so is her competitive, mindset. So it's gonna be interesting. Simone Biles, though, yeah, thank God for Simone. We will see what happens when artistry is done away with purely technical advancement. I mean, people won't like it because gymnastics was already less artistic than skating to begin with, but skating has always been about the moment, the Michelle moment and the Katarina Witt, whatever. Katarina Witt, I think it's. But yeah, it's always been about that. Once you take that out, if it's just quads with no presentation, Trusova style, it's just really, really boring. Like people like my mom, she doesn't like watching skating anymore because she's just like, these programs suck. So, do you think Terry has a favorite? Yes, I think her favorite is Sherbakova, and I've heard from rumors that are 100% unconfirmed, 100% coming from dodgy Russian forums, but people think that her favorite is Sherbakova. So could be. She's been seen hanging out with Sherbakova's parents at like New Year's or something. So take that as you wish. Victoria Komova was amazing. Yes, she was good, but I prefer Mustafina. So. 2022 Olympics will either make or break figure skating. General viewers and hardcore fans will alike will lose interest since there's no stars anymore, and the sport isn't incredible anymore with judging. I agree 100%. All the gymnastics is more entertaining. Yes, I love watching the NCAA. I don't follow juniors, but maybe I should because they only get one season in senior. How depressing is that? Sherbakova's parents are ridiculously rich. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Do you know if all the Terry students' parents are so rich? I don't think all the parents are rich, but what I do know that's been confirmed is that Terry takes 40% of the winnings of the athletes. So I'm sure that that's part of the reason why she pushes them so hard and milks them so much because 40% is a lot, especially because the winnings in skating aren't that big. So consider that. Mustafina fan, like they forget. Fans commit to the athletes they follow. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's just human nature. Take tennis. I love tennis. Is anyone watching the Australian Open, by the way? And look at the difference in how fans support people like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, even Murray when he's like there, and the younger generation. There's a lot of hype around the younger guys, but people aren't like emotionally invested in them. Yeah, 40% is a lot, but still. User is a prime example of how longevity is making a career. He exploded even further after Pyeongchang. Yeah, I agree. Oh, wow, we have a bot. How do we eliminate this person? I think like this. Can we do it? I'm not sure. Let me know. I think I kicked him out. Yeah. Anyways, do you think Evgenia can have a quad in the future? I think perhaps. I think if she truly starts working on it in earnest now that she has a basically half a season off, then potentially she could maybe do it. But it's hard to tell. Quad sal does seem to be her best bet. Her triple sal is looking really good, and I do think her jumps compare, like if you compare Rostelicum Cup and even just Worlds last season, the massive in her jumps, the difference in her jumps is massive. So yeah. I've heard it's even higher than 40%. I've heard that too. I think 40% is a confirmed thing we know, but it could be more. And I actually think she takes percentages from shows too, from what I've heard, which yikes. What else? She went with Trusova to Universal Studios like a year ago. I think Trusova used to be the favorite, but now it's Sherbakova. That's just like from what I've heard. Did you see the video with Ksenia Sinitsina where her former trainer pushed her around when she came off the ice and her curve? What? No, I didn't see that. What the heck? Can somebody link me to this? Yikes. No, that's horrible. Oh, I didn't see that. Was that a Youth Olympics? Was this shown in the stream or was it just a fan video? Terrible, terrible things. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave it at this. It's been an hour and I am really hungry. I need to make dinner. Yeah, I know 40% is a lot, but Russia's sports system is different. Yes, I mean I think it's normal in Russia to give some of the winnings to the coach, but this seems like a lot. Right after she gets off the ice, I'll go check that. That sounds horrible. Australian Open. Who do you think is going to win Australian Open, guys? I think it's going to be a young guy. That's my prediction. Yeah, thanks everyone. I will have to go make dinner. I am starving and I have to cook pasta, so that's going to take me like 10 whole minutes. Okay, so I'm reading really bad things about Sinitsina's coach. I'll have to check. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. You can find me on Twitter. You can now find me on Ko-fi too if you want to buy me a cup of tea. But yeah, otherwise you can find me on Twitter and you can find me on YouTube in the future. I'm gonna go make dinner and I'll speak to everyone very soon. I'll do a preview of 4 continents probably in my Euro recaps. So yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, good night everyone. Ciao and see you later. Bye.